Greetings, YouTube. This past weekend, my wife and I got an opportunity to see the movie Hanna, which came out last year, starring Saoirse Ronan, Eric Bana, and Cate Blanchett. Now, this is an interesting mix of a film. It's part coming-of-age story, part thriller, part light science fiction, and part fairy tale. It is a story of Hanna, a girl being raised by her father in complete and utter isolation near the Arctic Circle. She's been with him for her entire life that she can remember, living in the wilderness, hunting, surviving, training. He's been training her to be the best she can at survival, and she doesn't know why. He's trained her to speak half a dozen languages. He's trained her in every possible idea that he can think of that might help her, science, history, what have you. He's trained her to have a cover story and to know where to meet him at some point in the future if they ever get separated and have to go back out into the world, or in her case, into the world for the first time. And eventually, she comes to the point where she needs to leave. So he says, "This is the name of the woman that you have to kill. If you kill her, you will be free." So she sets off a signal, summons the authorities essentially, in hopes of finding her way to this woman so she can kill her. And over the course of the film, things unfold. You begin to learn her past, who she is, what she is, how she arrived there, why her father is involved in this process, who the woman that she has been told to kill is, played by Cate Blanchett. And Cate Blanchett does a masterful job of playing this really tightly wound CIA agent that was in charge of some black ops operation that was hush-hush. And she would really rather have Hanna go away because Hanna is evidence of this black ops operation that went very, very badly. And as an action film, it's top-notch. Saoirse Ronan is excellent. I mean, she's a young actress, and she plays the role very well of this trained killer. And it's a big thing to take on, and she does it masterfully. She trained a lot for this role, extensively in martial arts and in conditioning. She looks very natural. She isn't giving the impression that, things were catered to make the scenes look good for her, but that she really is fitting into that role. Eric Bana is excellent as the father figure. And of course, woven through this entire film, you have Beauty and the Beast, you have Snow White, you have Sleeping Beauty, you have the Big Bad Wolf and Little Red Riding Hood. You have all of these elements tied together, woven in and out, and there are times when you're not actually sure if Hanna herself knows what's real and what isn't. She's stunned by our modern world because it's things she'd never experienced. She's never seen electricity before. She's intrigued by boys, but almost kills one who attempts to give her first kiss, and her first kiss is with a girl she meets. Tender and sweet and brief. Overall, I thoroughly enjoyed the film. There were things about the film that I found a little off-putting. That there were times when the visuals of the film were put well before the storyline. That there were scenes that were cut to look awesome, and they looked awesome. But you're scratching your head like, why would people do that? Because they wouldn't. Bases would not be designed like this. Scenes would not be cut like this in the real world. You wouldn't see these things in the way they were presented, but they looked great, and that's all that matters in this particular story, because it very much is a fairy tale. You have to kind of divorce it from reality slightly, because while they use science to explain what Hanna is, it's very much just magic powers, because what she's being described as in the film is impossible. It cannot happen. We do not have the technology to pull this off, and we are not going to have the technology to pull it off for probably another 30 or 40 years. But it still was a lot of fun. There were some continuity issues. For example, she's never been exposed to electricity, but at a later point in the film, she's using a computer. She should have no idea what a computer even is, let alone how to work one. Things like that. But overall, I thoroughly enjoyed myself. I really liked this film. It was worth the wait. I'm glad I finally got to see it. And if you enjoy a mixture of films all rolled into one, something that's not going to give you that the pablum that's being handed out to the masses in the theaters on a regular basis, I think you'd like Hanna.